Guests' Folio transactions are displayed inside Reservation card. Since for this reservation payment type is guest, it will be shown under All tab. Here we also have Extra, Agency, or further sorting of first, second, or third person from extras. We use these tabs in order to divide the accounts and do the correct invoicing. Here we have several buttons to deal with. One of these is the Posting button. Here I can select the desired department, revenue group, currency, or product. Here I can save only one record or add new as well. Or if the transaction I did was incorrect, here I can choose correction or discount so that I can correct the mistake. When I save this input, this payment will automatically be reflected under Extra tab. Folio transaction will be automatically displayed for any action made from POS. It can be from POS, SPA, or any other sales channel. When I want to take payment for this reservation, I click on Get Payment. After that, from dropping list, I can choose Related Person or All Balance. From All Balance, I have a chance to collect the payment. For instance, I want to take payment from the second balance window. Here we can choose from some of the payment types. In Posting screen, we can see only the revenue, but here comes the collection department as well. These settings could be made under the Setup screen on the left. In the Department Definitions part, there are different department types. According to these department types, these will come as revenue or collection department in Folio transactions. Let's suppose I will take the cash payment. Here, I leave it as a payment, not as a refund option. I can get payment for the whole amount or just one part. For example, I will take 500 Turkish lira. On the second person tab, we can see that 500 Turkish lira was collected. There is also the cash payment part. This we use to collect all the balance with cash, while the next buttons are used for all credit card or city ledger payments. These could also be taken from payment screen, but this transaction can be done much faster this way. In order to print Folio, you can click on Print button found on any of these tabs. From here we can adjust the desired settings for printing Folio. This is how we can print the desired Folio screen. In Folio part, we also have Action menu. Let's go through each one of these. If I want to transfer folios between people, here I can select the desired records and move it to the third person tab. Here, under the dropping menu, I choose third person, and these alcoholic beverages will be sent to the third tab. Again, I am in All or Extra window, and I want to do the folio transfer. Here, the selected record or records can be transferred to another folio. Let's suppose that the 2 nights in this room will be paid by another guest. I select these records, and after clicking on Folio Transfer, I send these to any room from in-house list. When you start entering the room number, automatic list will come out. As shown, I will send it to room number 108. It is obligatory to write transfer note here. We then save it. As you can see, these transactions are sent to 108 room. I can also divide any transaction I want. This 200 Turkish lira transaction I would like to divide to 70. In this way, this transaction is divided to 130 and 70 lira. Next transaction will allow us to copy the desired transaction. Here we have the check detail part. As seen from here, I have closed one account in the restaurant. When go on check details part for this reservation, we can see who, when, and for which product account was closed. This is shown under all details. Delete folio. Even if I delete some of the folio transactions from here, these folio transactions are not deleted from our database. Let's delete this transaction from the third window. In order to delete the folio transaction, it has to be processed today. In this way, I can see all deleted transactions inside this folio. If one transaction is transferred from one room to another, with this action I can see the first reservation record. I transferred one night accommodation folio transactions from 501 room to this one. When I click on first reservation record, I will be able to see this reservation card. Posting is the same as the posting button at the bottom of the page. The same thing goes for create invoice. In order to see all the issued invoices, we click on this menu. In order to better manage folio transaction, we can use multiple window screen. This function allows us to see all folio transactions in one screen. On this screen, we can make different selections and groupings. For example, in the first window, I group transactions according to department. As shown, there are 3 transactions from restaurant. I can choose these records and transfer them to other window. I took these transactions to this window. Also, I can choose each one of these transactions and move them to other folio. I took all of these to the 5th folio. By clicking on Add button, we can add as much as folio we want. When I click on these buttons, these areas close or reopen. On these transactions, I can perform divide, invoicing, payment, or I can recreate it. When I click on the left upper button, I can select all the records and transactions in this screen. Since I transferred them all, now there is a different view of the folio. Here we have the currency converter. Here the current folio balances may be shown in different currencies. If I want to use exchange rates for a specific date, by changing the date, exchange rates will change as well. Here we have the rounding transactions. Sometimes when we work with foreign currencies, small differences in total amount of money can come out. Therefore, through this correct round action, we can show round numbers. Payment part is the same as the get payment part below. Rebate function allows us to make discounts or refunds. For example, after selecting this transaction, €85 transaction is shown. I can do the whole rebate or only certain amount of it for this €85 transaction. In this example, I showed you how €50 rebate transaction looks like. Next come the transfer transactions. If we have previously transferred other folios into this one, we would be able to see all the transfer transactions in this screen. There is also a bulk discount refund action on this menu. For instance, from the first person window, I can select one or more SPA transactions and apply these discounts. Discount can be defined in the form of percentage or definite amount. For example, I wish to apply 10% discount. Now the selected transactions come in the new row as the 20 Turkish lira discount row. From Folio transfer list, I can see all the transfer transactions. After defining the specific date range, clicking on Report button will be enough. Finally, we can automatically charge the folio. If you remember, we have already defined these under additional prices. We defined special dinner. If desired, I can arrange for this price to be quickly processed into Folio.